welcome to the show. Welcome to the Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. We got so many friends around the world who are going to show how to love, how to share some joy and growth. I'm the Mr. Marty Show. Pull up my chair. We're so glad you're here. Gonna fill you with joy, fill you with cheer. You let out a great big cheer on the Mr. Marty Show. Yeah. Show. On the Mr. Marty Show. Live action on the Mr. Marty Show. Yeah. On the Mr. Marty Show, so glad you're here. On the Mr. Marty Show, so glad you're here. Welcome to the Mr. Marty. Welcome to the Mr. Marty. Welcome to the Mr. Marty Show. Candle in the window when you're feeling all alone. I'll see its light glowing as I'm coming home. I love the way you love to love me with love. love for me is so fulfilling. Yes, I am so much more than willing, celebrating a love so true. Yeah, yeah, you still act like we're on our first date. Ooh, you make me feel so fine. Right with soap on the mirror, you're forever mine. I love the way you love to love me with love. I love the way you love to love me with love. I love the way you love to love me with love. Love me with love. Love the way you love me. Love me with love. Yeah, you love me with love. Love me with love.
Somewhere, right now in the world, is a little child who has never seen a Mr. Marty Show. You can be the difference in that child's life. For a gift of love of $100 or more, you can proudly become a Mr. Marty enabler. Remember, all that stands between that little child and a smile on that child's face is you. Be the difference.
Hi, Mr. Marty fans. Ma Gilmore here once again. This month we are talking about love. It makes sense because it's Valentine's Day soon and gets you to thinking about love. Now, so many people don't understand love. So many people sometimes just let it slip away. Love can be such a hard concept to catch on to. Some people don't want to be held. Some people don't want to be responsible for other people when they have a family. And I think about love because this is our 50th wedding anniversary. And it's hard to think about 50 years with one person. This isn't to say that 50 years went by without a hitch. Not really. So many things that can happen, but you take those bad days and you kind of put it behind you, and then you focus on the good days, one day at a time. When I think of love, I think of my grandma and grandpa and how much my grandpa loved my grandmother. He loved every bone in her body. And at Christmas time, we would kind of have a talent show so that we could remember people. And once they are gone out of our lives, then somebody would take on that part and would do whatever it was they did for the Christmas before. Well, my grandpa sang this song from the 1920s. It was "Oh Pal, Oh Gal." Now, not many of us would know that song, but Grandpa kept it going in our family. Let me just read a few of the lines. "Oh pal, oh gal, you left me all alone. Old pal, oh gal, I'm just a rolling stone. Shadows that come stealing through the weary night always find me kneeling in the candlelight. Oh pal, oh gal, the nights are long and drear. Oh pal, oh gal, each day seems like a year. No one left to meet me after all I've toiled. No one here to greet me. It's an empty world. The long night though I pray to you, oh pal, why don't you answer me? My arms embrace an empty space, the arms that held you tenderly. If you can hear my prayer, way up there, oh pal, why don't you answer me? That's true love. That's an emptiness that's left. But then that emptiness becomes filled with memories. So many people ask how I met Michael. We met at TU, and I was in ROTC. I had 2 little kids and thought, okay, maybe this is something I can do with my life. Well, Mike was the activities director, and I had some money that I had to give him for the activities. So I took my $5 in and I kind of threw it on the desk that he had and turned around to walk away, and he said, "Excuse me, do you know who I am?" And I kind of turned flippantly and said, "No, and I really don't want to." Well, that's how we met. And from that time forward for a while, when he saw me coming or I saw him coming, we turned the other way. Love isn't instant. Love isn't what we think it's going to be. But you make each day an adventure, a journey. And sometimes you have to go with the flow and let your heart take you where it's going to go. So for all of you out there, Ma Gilmore wishes you love, wishes you a heart full of peace and kindness, and finding that one person that can be with you even though they're gone. Peace.
And now, 30 seconds of cue.
So we are the Leon Beach Park Advisory Council. So we're a small group of volunteers with a really big vision. And our vision is to turn this small park, which is just 3 acres, into a nature center and a resource for the entire neighborhood.
We sort of cleared it of some invasive species last fall, and so there should be more availability to go down. But we have another spot, so if you have a bag, save some of them because we have another spot. Well, we have ryegrass, Indian grass, and switchgrass, and then we also have Joe Pye weed, Culver's rouge, echinacea, Testament, which is a beard's tongue. What else do we have? And there's some
Round-headed bush clover,
bone sets. In this section around the building, we're restoring it to a black oak savanna because, in fact, we have these old black oaks that have survived through our settlement. But then out there, it's being restored as a dry sand prairie. So that's where we're headed next.
Well, it's great for the birds and the insects. and not only for the beachgoers. And it's a restoration of what was here before they plowed over the beach and made it more pedestrian accessible. So it's really lovely to see all the birds returning and these great native plants. So then I think it's random.
Okay.
She's got,
Oh, you got it.
yeah,
Okay.
so like handfuls mixing. I
Yeah,
think.
we're gonna
Yeah.
let's walk in.
Are these seeds that you guys grew yourselves?
They came from North Park. Not
Okay.
North Park. What they call it? Westridge. You know that
Oh,
place
yeah.
over there? With
Okay.
That was the cemetery.
Yes,
So
yes.
the Park District, you know, that's a natural area of the Park District as well.
Okay.
So it's like we're making seeds.
Is there deer here? You can come down. Why don't you come down so you can...
how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach, when feeling out of sight for the ends of being and ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with a passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life, and if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death.
Hello, this is Polly Chase, presenting artwork by Martin McCormack. This painting, titled Dude, features a mountain range that holds a special place in Marty's heart. On the canvas, which measures 20 by 24, we see the Tetons rising in the hazy distance of a view from an abandoned dude ranch just outside Jackson Hole, Wyoming, near Marty's parents' old place. The cool blues and violets of the background complement the buttery yellow foreground. These colors pass the viewer's attention back and forth along the horizontal plane, while the decaying Model T sinks into that scrubby landscape from which the majestic peaks punch upward along the vertical plane. It's a quiet yet very moving scene, both artistically and emotionally. It pulls the imagination into a human story waiting to be told, one witnessed by rock that is millions of years old. To explore this painting and more of Marty's artwork, go to martinmccormack.com.
Hi, I'm Marcus Gentry. This is a mindful moment. We're in the month of February, and among other things, many talk about the subject of love. Songs have been written, poems, movies, books on the subject of love. Much can be said about that. I've done tributes. I've written music on the subject of love. A man named artist by the name of George Benson. First time I heard this particular song, he did something like, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. So I want to talk about the greatest love of loving yourself. Not talking about loving yourself from a pious, egotistical position. I'm talking about loving yourself from a state of respect and purity. How can you love yourself if you don't know yourself? I think the first act of love is through self-examination. You have to get to know something if you're going to love it. So how well do we love ourselves, and our willingness to examine ourselves? And yeah, of course, one thing is, we'll start with one of the more challenging areas, that's physical. So it's easy to look in the mirror and assess where we are physically, our clothes, our hair, things like that. But what about our weight? What about our blood pressure? What about our sugar? What about our cholesterol? What about the other things? Do we love ourselves enough to do self-examination to make sure that we are giving ourselves
an opportunity to be the best person that we can be because we love ourselves like that. Doesn't mean we're 100% all the time, but it means that we are determined to examine ourselves and work towards improving ourselves because we love who we are, and it's okay for us to be us. Now, there's a lot of things that can challenge that, right? Because there are commercials and things on television that tell us you're not good enough, and you shouldn't love yourself until you have this car or this outfit or this piece of jewelry or this home or something. But I'm talking about loving yourself just as you are, giving yourself permission to be human, knowing that sometimes you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you're not going to please. You're going to disappoint some people, but it's okay. You can still love yourself in spite of the challenges that you may go through. So do you love yourself enough to examine yourself emotionally and make sure that we're expressing our emotions in a healthy way? Love for those people important in our lives. When we're going through something, when we're not in a good place, it's difficult to express love to someone else if we aren't in a good place ourselves. So are we willing to examine and see if there's areas that we need to improve in terms of the way we manage anger, the way we manage disappointment, the way we manage sadness, the way we manage love, rejection? Are there areas that we can work on, and we'll choose to work on them because of self-awareness, and we're doing the self-awareness assessment because we love who we are and we want to be better at who we are? Do we love ourselves enough to examine ourselves morally, to ask the question, what values do I live by that I want to be true to? Because it's difficult to feel good about ourselves when we've gone outside of our core beliefs, things that we believe are right and pure and true for us. So loving ourselves means examining our moral position, our values, and the things that we live and that we stand by. Assessing whether we love ourselves mentally. We have the gift of one of the most magnificent computers that is in existence, and that's our brains. Do we love ourselves enough to take care of that, to nurture that, to feed ourselves healthy things, not just physically, but what are we feeding ourselves intellectually? Because what comes out is based on what goes in. So do we love ourselves enough to take care of ourselves physically, to take care of ourselves emotionally, to take care of ourselves intellectually, to take care and clarify what our values and moral standards are? There's a beauty that comes with getting to know yourself, and greater yet, getting to love the person that you are. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. My name is Marcus Gentry, and this has been another Mindful Moment.
Okay.
Houston, we have a problem.